And a very pleasant good morning. I have with me one of my favorite people on the planet, Professor Craig Wright, and he is he's been with us before. And first of all, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
We have had a lot of discussion within the center of people feeling disconnected, people feeling alienated. I don't have my friends, I can't talk to my teachers. I know you're in the communication business. You write, you sing, you connect through shows. What might you see as some methods that could be helpful to have people feel a little bit less in the weeds?
Well, my first thought is maybe we shouldn't put too much pressure on ourselves about all of this stuff. I've seen the same sort of concerns. I've seen posts about worries that students might fall behind. They won't get the same teaching. And these are valid concerns. But at the same time, I think we can't put that sort of pressure on ourselves. Maybe they won't be the same. Maybe things aren't going to be the same. Maybe we can look for ways that things will be better. It's really true that we're all doing our best right now. And, in some ways, it's just a kind of microcosm of what we see in society, this sort of disconnect and this ability to interact in a way online, et cetera, in ways that we might not if we did have more connection physically. But, at the same time, I think there may be valuable pieces to this experience. I know others have pointed that out. I think that students maybe are more comfortable learning online than faculty are teaching online. I think students maybe learn that way anyway. Often, they've been doing this for a while. They go and look up how-to videos. They figure out how to record music or how to work a certain social tool through online instruction. and I don't think that, I know I'm kind of getting around the question a little bit. I know the question has more to do with our connection with students and each other. But I also think, these concerns about the effectiveness of instruction maybe fuel that somewhat. And so I think the best thing we could do is maybe not put the pressure on ourselves to expect it to be perfect. But I guess I need to point out that online is it's where most people go for social interaction anyway. And so it's where...
The one thing I see constantly is if you ask somebody something, the first thing they do is they pick up their phone. Yeah. And they start to they're going to look it up. They're going to find it. They're, oh, look at that. So yeah, it's happening anyway. And they are native computer speakers, if you will. Right, they grew up with this.
And I think they use computers and social networking, obviously, for connection. And I think that's the way we're going to have to go. I agree that it's easy to sort of isolate ourselves and sort of miss the interaction, the physical interaction. And I also, obviously, I believe strongly in that being a part of the college experience.
Of course. Yeah.
But like I say, social media was around. People were finding connection with each other online long before the pandemic.
Exactly. I'm just curious, with the things you teach, with the music, with the writing, with the poetry, that type of thing, that has always been a communications medium, if you will. Anyway, I'm wondering if there are avenues down that road with
I think so.
The genre.
I think most of my students or our students will have some degree of online presence through their careers and certainly through their social interactions in the future anyway. I think, if you're speaking specifically to what I do, writing's always been kind of a lonely business. It's yes. Always been sort of a person with their butt in the seat. And that doesn't necessarily make for a whole lot of social interaction. Maybe at the the cocktail party after the reading is a little bit of a myth. especially
Yeah.
these days, you know.
Oh,
It's so,
absolutely. Yeah.
um, and so I think that, you know, being able to create material and being able to write effectively is going to be even more important than it's been.
Does make sense. Well, I want to thank you for taking your time to come on in and
Yeah.
dip your big toe into the water before we jump back out of the pool. Is there anything else that, since we have been talking, we've talked about young people? How about, like, I'm over 50.
Me too.
And many of our older faculty are not native computer users, or are new, they have learned as I learned how to use a computer. Do you think faculty are feeling disconnected, or administration staff, not only the students, but what about the rest of us here on campus?
Absolutely. Um, and, you know, we have a fine community,
We do.
um, and it's hard not to miss just that sort of interaction with whoever we run into, whatever their role is on campus. That's difficult, and and I think my experience in college had as much to do with what went on outside of the classroom as it did with what on inside the classroom.
That's
Um,
right. That's a big piece of the puzzle.
we have a fine athletics program. We have a fine arts programs. We have a lot of uh, extracurricular activities that go on that are sort of centered around our community. And that's not going to be easy to replace online. And I do think that, yes, some of us older people may miss it even more so. You know, it's not like we grew up online, and I think we may end up being a little clumsy. But here you and I are talking on Zoom right now, doing just fine.
It's
I
working
think.
out. That's, I'm happy. I'm smiling.
and and so, gosh, I just, you know, I always want to be of the mindset that, you know, humans will prevail, and that, you know, the human heart tends to figure out a way to express itself. And I'm looking forward to wonderful pieces of writing coming out of my classes this quarter. I'm looking forward to what my colleagues do as far as research coming out of this. Um, I don't know that we have any choice. You know, this is where we are, and so
It's a
it's
very
what are
good
we going to
point.
make of it? You
You know,
know,
this
I mean,
is
I
not
think
optional.
yeah. So we need to lead the way, and like, what are we going to make of all of this?
And as I've heard some people, I think I picked you up, I think I was hearing you saying this earlier, there could be some good opportunities here. I mean, yes, this is hardly ideal. This is exactly not how I expected to be spending this year. But as I've heard, maybe there's an opportunity for another direction,
Don't you
another
think?
style.
I think so. Um, it's going to take some adapting in our approach, especially maybe in the classroom. But maybe it was inevitable, you know, that eventually this is where at least a large portion of the delivery of education would end up happening, even as we begin to gather back on campus. I think these tools, there will be a number of them that we'll continue to make use of.
I think you're 100% right. I want to thank you for spending a little
Sure.
quality time with me this morning, and have an excellent term, sir. I appreciate
You
your help.
too. I always love hanging out with you, Bill, and hope to talk to you sometime soon.
All right, you take it easy.